So here's one of the best ex-husband has a last laugh type of stories I've heard in a very long time. And let me tell you, karma definitely comes the way of the wife that completely ruined their marriage, hurt the kids, all that. Titled, I'm so happy that my ex-wife is miserable. Hey, I love the fact that he doesn't hide it and he owns it. He says, 3 years ago, I, a 48-year-old male, I found out that my wife, a 46-year-old female, was having an affair. She met a guy at work and came home one day telling me that she was in love with him, no longer loved me, and wanted a divorce. This was a guy that she'd known only for 3 months. She and I have been together since we were in our 20s. We have 3 kids together, one who's 28, 26, and 23. So right there, she's known the dude for 3 months. She's already in love with him, blah, blah, blah. That common sense, emotion. Emotion's always going to win the day. Well, I tried to fight for my marriage and didn't want a divorce, but she simply would not stop seeing this guy. You don't fight for someone that treats you like this, but I'm sure he was just so blindsided and shocked and hurt. After one weekend, where she disappeared from Friday afternoon to Sunday night, I ended up throwing her out of the house. Good job, man. She immediately moved in with this guy. The only excuse she ever gave me was that I never wanted to hurt you, but there's just something about this guy. And of course, I deserve to be happy, she said. That was it. That was the depth of her reasoning for throwing everything we built together away. Again, her feelings are always going to trump common sense and loyalty. It's all about the butterflies, all about the tingles. But the thing about the guys that give them the butterflies and the tingles, they're not relationship material. And when reality sets in, well, listen to this. Well, we ended up finalizing our divorce in early 2022. Although I had a very hard feelings towards her, I faked it enough to get a pretty favorable divorce. It seemed like she was so eager to be with her dream man that she didn't have time for a long divorce. Exactly. So he played the long game. Okay, fine. I'm not going to tell her she's an effing BIT or anything like that. I'll just play along, get the best deal. And that's exactly what happened. She wanted to be off with her man, her love, the guy that gave her the butterflies, the guy that there was just something about. So in the end, I got to keep my pension and the house, which I bought for my grandmother. I did have to give her half of my 401k. What a steaming pile of crap. At least the kids are legal adults now and out of the house, and there's no child support or anything like that. Well, the effect on my kids is pretty devastating. All 3 of them took it very hard. My oldest son told her that if she chooses this man, he'd never have a relationship with her again. Well, good for him. And again, he's not a kid. He's a grown-ass adult. As of right now, neither of our sons has a relationship with their mother. Our daughter does talk to her from time to time, but their relationship is very strained to say the least. Remember, she didn't just abandon the husband, she abandoned the kids. Even if they're adults, she still abandoned them. My daughter is a very kind person, and she tries, but she usually ends her conversations with her mother even more upset than they started. Then she shouldn't talk to her. About 4 months after the divorce, my ex contacted me out of the blue. Oh, what could she want? She told me that she made a terrible mistake and asked if she could come home. 4 months, huh? Just like that. Her dream man turned out to be an alcoholic who she says is verbally abusive and wasted all her money. In 4 months, and this moron went for it. Too bad. You had your chance. Remember, I was a guy trying to work, trying some way to work on the marriage, even though you're ruining it. Nope, you didn't care about me. Now you want to come home? Fuck you. I used this opportunity to tell her exactly what I thought of her as a person, a wife, and a mother. I told her this was her life now and deal with it. I told her she's no longer had a home at this house and never contact me again. I'm sure that felt good. Then a few things happened over the last year that had driven her to start trying to contact me again. For one, I met someone. My sister introduced me to a friend of hers who is also divorced, and she and I hit it off. We've been seeing each other over the last summer, and while we've agreed that neither of us wants to get married again, we are together. Well, frankly, I think this guy should have taken more time. But if that's what it took to help him move along, so be it. And also, it's like rubbing salt in the wound of his a-hole ex-wife. And no, you should not get married again, dude. Well, what would be the fucking point? It's not like he's going to have kids again or anything like that. Once my ex heard about this, she once again tried to contact me, but I ignored her. My son also got married and didn't invite his mom. That's what she gets. She again contacted me to try to get me to intervene on her behalf. I told her I would talk to him, but I never did. Secretly, I feel like she deserves all the pain she's feeling when it comes to our kids. She destroyed our family without so much as an afterthought. Too bad, so sad. I have no problem with this. She's a fucking selfish asshole. It'd been one thing if, she said to him, if she ended it because she wasn't happy, it was just a bad situation, but wasn't cheating and moved on and eventually met a guy, that's one thing. But the fact that she was cheating with this guy, she'd only done a few months, and I'm sure there's more to it than what she was saying. And months later, I'm so sorry. No way. She had no problem tossing this husband to the side of the road, tossing the kids to the side of the road. She deserves this. But in her mind, he'll take me back. Now she recently told her daughter that she finally broke it off with the dream man because she couldn't take his drinking and his total lack of responsibility. He wasted half of her 401k, no, it was your 401k, sir, that I gave her. He had totaled her car driving drunk. This from a man in his 40s. Again, she knew the guy for 3 months and torpedoed the whole family for him. Well, that's what they do for Chad and Tyrone, because you have the husband who's being a responsible adult, raising the kids, doing his job, taking care of the family, and the women are bored. So they want the exciting guy. Well, the exciting guy usually has substance abuse problems, usually doesn't have a job, is terrible with money, gets into trouble, and then they come crying to come back home when things don't work out. Nope, no second chance. On the face of it, I act like I feel sorry for her, but inside I really delight in the fact that she's so unhappy. Well, dude, own it. On the outside, delight in it. Who cares? Call me evil or whatever, I don't care. She brought this on herself and serves her right. I actually had to sit there one Saturday night while she got ready for a date with this guy, and she laughed on the phone with her friend about how awkward our living situation was. I lived in hell for a year because of her. Well, then you should be quite open to everybody, your friends, your family, your kids even, that, hey, she's getting what she deserves. Wait until she finds out that our son and his wife are going to have a baby later this year. Maybe if she had been able to keep her legs closed, she'd meet her grandchild. Enjoy your shitty one-bedroom apartment and your broken-down used car. Maybe my new girl will think of you when we're on vacation this summer. Hawaii was a trip my ex and I always planned to take once our daughter finished college. Maybe I'll send her pictures. No, I wouldn't send her anything, dude. Don't have any contact with her. If you're a social media guy, you can post pictures on social media. I'm sure some way, somehow, she'll find out about those and see it. But no, you don't need to feel bad. And I say, this is awesome for this guy, She gets what she deserves. But how many stories have I covered just like this? When the wife could care less and just ruins a whole marriage because she was bored. She wanted the tingles. If she could have communicated to her husband, if she was getting bored, okay, they could start to maybe do things to spice up the marriage, some vacations, some trips, some this or that, whatever, a new fucking restaurant. I don't care. But no, she had to cheat and throw it away for a scumbag loser. And the worst thing is, he lost half his 401k, which this jackass blew. But at the end of the day, hey, tough crap. And I know it's driving her even more crazy. This dude moved on. Because a guy can move on. That's the funny part. Women have this idea that they're just as desirable in their 40s and 50s on up as they were in their 20s. Doesn't work that way. And don't get me wrong, you can have damn good-looking gals in their 40s and 50s for their age, but they're not desirable like they once were, but they still think that. I've encountered this many times. I'm sure you guys have too. But a guy in his 40s and 50s who has his shit together, takes care of himself, makes good money, has some resources. I don't mean rich, but just is comfortable. It is not hard. Because a guy in his 40s can get women in their 40s, 50s, if he wants that, 30s, 20s. He just has to be careful. But for women, it's difficult. Now to some comments here. And it's interesting to comment. You got comments that are totally like, yeah, bro, ha ha. Another one saying, well, maybe you should encourage the kids to talk to their mom. I say, fuck that. One guy says here, serves her right. She decided to throw everything away just to be with a guy that she knew for only 3 months. She threw away a perfect marriage with beautiful kids just to catch a temporary bliss. She deserves it. She doesn't get to come back running because you made a choice to get the divorce and finally find someone you're happy with. Most of all, she betrayed her kids in the process of the divorce, hurting you and the kids. She didn't care for them when she divorced you. Now she wants pity for a situation she brought up on herself. She only knew the man for 3 months. 3 months. She did this to herself. I agree. She deserves it. Exactly. No mercy. Cobra Kai. Although that show has become incredibly stupid. Yeah, I like Cobra Kai the first few seasons. I only watched the last one. I was like, nope, this karate soap opera's got to end. Another comment. My ex did the same thing. Met some guy at her new job and left 2 months later. Shockingly, they didn't last. She then wanted to reconcile, and I laughed at her. Her former best friend and I started talking, we became best friends, and then husband and wife 26 years later, and we're still going strong. That was a way to get even with an ex. Hook up with her former best friends. And last one says, yes, my current boyfriend was in this almost exact same situation. He watched the wife get ready for dates with a coworker. She left him for the coworker, refused to stop seeing him, and she forced divorce on him when he tried to fight for their marriage. What? It's always, you got to fight for the marriage. He behaved amicably, so she gave him the house. She moved in with him immediately. Finding out that the coworker ended up breaking up with her a couple years later was the best news ever. Even though she doesn't seem miserable right now, I take great delight in the fact that she's having to live with her mom again. You're right, she made her bed so she can lie in it. I'm so glad you're moving on. Amen. And truly, guys, success is the best revenge. Living a happy life, a good life, because most people, let's be honest here, in varying degrees are fucking miserable in some capacity out there. So just living well, eventually you're going to have the last laugh. The thing is, most of the time when people wrong you, it's rare you get to see the people that wronged you, get what's coming to them. It's very rare when you get to do that. But let me tell you, when you get to actually witness this, oh, the wonderful feeling. So anyhow, good story there, good for this guy.